Welcome, Crusaders, and thanks for joining me for Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. Well, we've got a new chapter, and things look pretty different. We're out here, I guess, somewhere at the Crusaders' camp. We're going to kind of get our bearings here. Irabeth wants to give us a tour of the camp, I believe. We do have some familiar faces here. Storyteller is right there, Nenio. We're going to have to... probably spend some time kind of finding our way here and figuring out what to do next. I have a feeling things are going to be pretty different here now than we're used to, just being inside the city of Canabris. I'd kind of like to go back to the Great Garrison if we're able to at some point. I still would like to figure out that puzzle. I don't know if that's going to be an option for us or not. I found one hint on that we had picked up a book that may help us with that statue puzzle. And when I was watching the video back, I noticed I kind of picked the book up and looked at it briefly, but didn't really, I think I didn't really pay attention very closely to what it actually said, and then just forgot about it. But that may help us with that. If we have the chance to go back there, we'll see. We may not. Let's check in with Irabeth. Maybe. She just like
Godspeed.
Following us around? Well, let's talk to Storyteller then. Okay. The old elf smiles when he hears your footsteps. Allow me to congratulate you on your victory, and on acquiring mythical powers capable of casting down the strongest of demons. Somebody said we'd missed a dialogue option here, and I noticed that as well on a video. Don't see it now. It's something like, how can we help you or something. So I don't know. Hopefully we didn't miss something important there. I found a page you were looking for from the Grey Garrison. The Storyteller carefully takes the page from your hands. His fingers touch the ancient letters gently, examining them lightly, following their lines. I see. Myself. Young, energetic, able to see. Oh gods, have I found the key to my past? Finally, I will find out what my own mind has been hiding from me. The elf's expression becomes withdrawn. The wrinkles on his face soften. Thank you, Zeke, and please follow me to my story. Let us embark on this journey together. The Storyteller inhales sharply a few times and begins his story. They are leaving. The people of Kyanan faced the coming Earthfall and admitted that they were incapable of handling this disaster. Proud rulers, artful crafters, brave warriors, wise mages, and skilled healers. All of them hurry to the gate to Sovirian, looking around fearfully. A clean, safe world is waiting for them there. My people decided not to fight for Galarian. I am ashamed, and I'm sorry for them. Their hearts wavered in the face of the catastrophe, but my will is strong. I am staying. My kinfolk are looking at me angrily. How dare I diminish their decision with my recklessness? My choice makes them cowards, traitors of their own home. One of them, my former mentor, looks at me bitterly. He hands me a neat notebook with a tree bark cover. In case you change your mind. With a heavy sigh, he returns to the line of those departing. Forgive me, brothers and sisters. I watch the gate of the Sovirian stone close, separating me from them. It's time for me to go, too. I open my master's notebook. These are his notes about traveling between worlds. In case you change your mind. He hopes the burden I shouldered voluntarily will be too much. I will lose heart and find my way to Sovirian. That will never happen. My mouth set stubbornly, I tear my master's notebook to pieces. I use my forced pride as a shield against my fear of what is to come. Why did the elves decide to flee, not fight? The Storyteller's lips purse with disdain. They are afraid to lose what they have. They were rulers, long-lived and powerful. They value their lives and sunshine too much to enter the fight with the aftermath of Earthfall. Your mentor is a mage? Then you must be too, yes. Yes, I am an archmage, and this title is well-deserved. I have acquired delicate mastery and succeeded in many areas of magic. But curiosity has always pushed me toward new knowledge since the first day of my apprenticeship. What is the Sovirian stone? A magnificent crystal, bent into an arch by a mighty hand of an ancient divine creator. Our great gate to other worlds. It breathes power. It dreams of eternity. Why are you angry at your fellow elves? I spent many hundreds of years in Kyanin. I've always admired the way my kinfolk cared for the forest that was our home. But the rest of the world seemed to mean nothing to them. But I love Golarion, all its places, all the forms it manifests in. I traveled widely, and then came home and told my kinfolk about my travels. But they weren't interested. They only cared about Kyanin. Their lack of desire to hear about the wider world makes me sad and angry. What happened next? Earthfall happened at night. I am standing at the top of my tower, many miles to the north of Kyanin, and I see a blaze far in the south. I hear a horrendous rumble. The air is groaning, giving way to a huge rock rushing down on my world, and then a blow. Vibration that penetrates everything, reaching down into the bowels of Golarion and up to the vaults of the sky. Crunching bones, blood from burst vessels filling my eyes with darkness. Drowning in timelessness, along with countless denizens of Golarion. Never before have we been so united in our feelings. When I come round, the darkness remains. My first terrible thought, I'm blind. But no, little by little I begin to see the stone wall. I am alive. But why is it so dark? The answer is quick. The smell of ash everywhere. The great burnt sacrifice filled the air with incinerated particles of what was recently the continent of Aslant. Great clouds of ash covered the sky, cutting us off from the sun and the moon, dooming us to dusk at day and complete darkness at night. My heart sinks with fear. Treacherous thoughts fill my mind. Why did I stay? Why didn't I run like everyone else when I had the chance? I clench my teeth and stand up to watch Earthfall. Proudly, like the last Archmage of Kyanin should. Will my world really perish like this? Will I perish? No, that will never happen. I am still alive and I can fight Earthfall and the darkness. Not run from it in a blind panic like my kinfolk and my cowardly teacher. But what can I do? I will not stop the disaster. I will hardly be able to save empires from their destruction. What can I do? I am but one Archmage, powerful and weak at the same time. What's Earthfall? A disaster of untold proportions. An unborn planet dropped on Golarion by blind fate or someone's evil will. A blow so strong that the continent of Aslant is destroyed within moments, turned to ashes, wiped off the face of Golarion. In this burnt sacrifice, clouds of ash and dust are born, stealing our sun. Without the warmth of our star, the air cools, the soil is barren. Dark creatures crawl out of their lairs to rule. And the most frightening thing, without the sun, all hope dies in the heart. This is the age of darkness. What was the tower you mentioned? It's my retreat to the north of Kyanin. My home away from home, my observatory. From its top, I watched the stars, and when they were correctly aligned, the other worlds as well. Here in the northern wastelands, I found the highest mountain and built a tower on top of it. On clear days, I could see the mist over the lake of mists and veils in the east. That's how high I was. What are you going to do next? I don't know, I need to think. My opponent, Earthfall, is much stronger than me. Without noticing, the storyteller raises his voice to a shout. It is merciless. It does not simply destroy life, it kills an era, ending the greatness of Golarion's civilizations. They will sink into oblivion, be forgotten as if they never existed. I need to think. The elf suddenly winces and is silent for a few moments as he calms his heavy breathing. Forgive me, I shouldn't have raised my voice. This story was much harder than many before it, most likely because I played the main role in it. It is so strange to see myself, feel the emotions tearing me up inside, those that I felt a long time ago, and not remember them. It's like I split. I became both the storyteller and the main character. Too bad the story ended at that moment. Please, if you find other pages covered with ancient elven writings on your travels, bring them to me. I might be able to shed some light on my past, and we will find out how my story ended, and perhaps even why I forgot it. Tell me about Earthfall? They are leaving. The people of Kyanan faced the coming Earthfall and admitted that they were incapable of handling this disaster. Proud rulers, artful crafters, brave warriors, wise mages, and skilled healers, all of them hurry to the gate of Severian, looking around fearfully. A clean, safe world is waiting for them there. My people decided not to fight for Galarian. I'm ashamed. And I'm sorry for them. Their hearts wavered in the face of the catastrophe, but my will is strong. I am staying. My kinfolk are looking at me angrily. How dare I diminish their decision with my recklessness? My choice makes them cowards, traitors of their own home. One of them, my former mentor, looks at me bitterly. He hands me a neat notebook with a tree bark cover. Okay, well, haven't we been over his past? I guess sometimes it seems like they don't quite have these, like, I think we've talked over this, yeah. Have you decided to join the Crusade? I have decided not to, I'm afraid. My path and the path of the Crusade lead in the same direction, but alas, they are not yet one and the same. After the demons were driven away from Canobris, the path into the World Wound became open, if only temporarily. I'm planning on using this opportunity to visit. The elf falls silent. It doesn't matter now. I'd hate to bore you with the details of my venture, which may prove useless even for myself. However, I'll try to return to the Crusaders and aid them in their confrontation with the demons after I'm done. I hope to meet you again in this world rather than the next. Okay. I wish you interesting adventures. We did pick up some of the magic essence that he was needing for something. Oh, he's looking at Finian. Okay. Aha, Grandpa Elf. Watch where you're poking your fingers. It tickles. The elf looks at you with unusual impatience. Shall we? Yeah, take a look at Finian. Hello, Grandpa Elf. The storyteller carefully takes Finian from your hands. Hello, Finian. He closes his eyes and takes a deep breath. His face contorts into a painful grimace. I'm coming to again. How long have I been here? They kept me in a cage for 3 days. I know this because 3 times the light under the door disappeared for a long time. Then they chained me to the table and the bladesmith. Everyone calls him the bladesmith. He placed a device with a jar over me. It feels like I'm being fried. At first, I tried to break free, but I got tired. Then I screamed. But now I've lost my voice, though the pain is burning right through me. The storyteller stops. His voice changes, becoming more frightened. I think I lost consciousness again. But when I woke up, the pain was gone, and I wasn't tied to the table anymore. I was standing near it, and someone else was lying on the table, a burned corpse covered with a black crust. The master took out a handsaw and was sawing off his head in a very focused way. I should have run back then, but I couldn't for some reason. This burned corpse had a symbol on his belt, just like I do, an eye and a star. My favorite belt, a good one. Where would a stranger get one? It must have been someone from my clan, some distant family member. The storyteller stops. When he speaks again, you hear only a muffled whisper. Those crusaders, I was glad when I saw them. I thought they'd come to help, but how? How was it that I killed them all? Someone told me to, and I obeyed. I don't understand. I understand nothing now. I need to catch my breath. I need all this to stop, even just for a minute. I just have to understand what's happening to me. Just need to rest. The storyteller shakes his head and slowly comes to his senses. That's Finian's past, but what awaits him in the future? The dead have no future, but the storyteller smiles. I see an endless ocean and a good day and a boat flying over the waves. I am so excited, but I don't know whose vision this is. Is this a soul existing here and now, or a soul reborn? Thank you for your story. The storyteller gives Finian back to you. Please take care of this young lad. He is finally in the right hands. Do not worsen his suffering by involving him in dishonorable deeds. Come on, Grandpa Elf. I can take care of myself. I'm not a kid. I don't know what horrors you were talking about, but don't you worry about it, all right? Look after yourself. gives the storyteller their broken buckle and the necessary materials. Restore this relic for me. Ah. The elf cautiously uncorks the vials and begins to work his enchantments. The essence evaporates, turning into light that streams onto the buckle. The light thickens, becoming gold. The Covenant of the Inheritor. That is the name of this relic. This buckle once adorned the belt of a glorious knight from Mendev. It is the embodiment of a promise made to a young girl by a powerful deity. A great promise that has changed much in the world. Covenant of the Inheritor. When you touch the restored relic, a strange vision comes to you. It's as if you can see the events that happened to it in the past. A burning sensation spreads across your chest from the very spot where your mysterious wound sometimes opens. What is this? The influence of the storyteller's spells, or is it something else? I had a vision. The old elf frowns. How strange. You are a remarkable mortal. No one has ever shared my visions before. What do you think caused it? Perhaps these things have something to do with your destiny, or the fate of someone related to you. I do not have an answer, only advice. Seek out such relics. Look for what links them all, and you will know the truth. Okay. Well, it sounds like we're done with Storyteller for a while. Hopefully we'll run into him again at some point. If he's taking off. So new stuff here. Crusade quests. I think this is the whole, like, I don't know much about it, but there's, instead of the whole kingdom management thing, we have this Crusade thing we have to do. Got cultists to wipe out. Find the lost relic of the Crusaders. I don't know, maybe this is different. Laymen believe that a military commander's success is built on their intellect, insight, or personal courage. However, all these qualities are useless if the leader lacks the one that matters most, unshakable authority among the rank and file, ensuring that they follow orders quickly and without question. The commander assumed control of the Crusader army only recently, and he will have to quickly master the art of managing a military host. The commander's earliest successes or failures in his new post will determine whether the soldiers trust his leadership or lose faith in him. A band of cultists who participated in the attack on Knobris is retreating in the direction of Dresden. The first task of the commander's army is to capture and eliminate them so that they cannot warn the demons and find the lost relic of the Crusaders. According to Chronicles, one of the Crusade's relics was lost in the lands of the commander's army is about to pass through. The power of this artifact would be useful in the march on Dresden. Perhaps it would be wise to spend some time carefully exploring the right bank of the West Selen. Okay. Irabeth's scabbard, we just need to talk to her about. We picked that up in the garrison. And then in pursuit of the past, Storyteller seeks pages covered in ancient Elven script. Okay. We need to look for those. Apparently he's going to at least hang around for us to turn those into him. And then Sword of Valor. Banner over the Citadel. The fight for Knobris marked the beginning of the Fifth Crusade. The next objective is Dresden, once the capital of the Crusader movement and now a demon citadel. Who will win? It is an equation with an infinite number of unknowns. The finest military minds failed to bring an end to this war, but a new leader now stands in command, one different from all the others, and perhaps this new variable will produce a different result. Make it to Dresden. The army sets off from Knobris to Dresden. Between the two cities there are miles and miles of lands maimed by the claws of the abyss. How many of those who set out will reach their destination alive? Will anyone join them along the way? Time is a luxury they do not have, and the chances that the whole situation will change unpredictably increase with each passing day. That indicates some urgency of time. But we'll see if that's really something to worry about, or we just need to kind of take things as they come. Not get ahead of ourselves, I guess. Talk to the Queen. Beginning of a long road. The fight for Canobris is over and the hero has received the honors he deserves. Now he is the Crusaders' Knight Commander. Queen Galfrey of Mendev personally placed the army under his command, and together they conducted a troop review. Only a few steps remain to prepare for the long road to an unknown goal. The Queen is waiting in the command tent to explain to the commander the task he has been set. Meanwhile, the commander has some time to personally evaluate the fighting ability of his new army. Examine the campsite of the Eagle Watch, find the location of the recruits from Narosian, examine the campsite of the Canobris Knights, and talk to the army quartermaster. Okay, so this, we need to just explore the camp for this, sounds like. Cold Waters, okay, so we can now visit Jernah in Chili Creek now that we have liberated Canobris. And we're still waiting on Kaelessa to show her face again. Wow, okay. And we have the whole mythic path thing now that we unlocked. We did take care of Zeke's stuff here, but I did not do anybody else. And I'm going to continue to leave that for now as we take a look around the camp. Tirabade's tent. Nenio is right here too. Let's take a look in here. Is Anivia going to be in here? This is mine and Anivia's tent. We're both used to traveling, but the Queen insisted our tent to be furnished like a commanding officer's. Let's take a look at your books. Adventures of a Fearless Crusader, Briggy the Sausage Maker. I feel like maybe we've read that one, but I can't remember for sure. Wow, Irabeth, do you mind if we take your stuff out of your chest while you watch? Right. All for a good cause. Okay, there's the commander's tent. I don't think I want to go in there yet. I don't want to trigger... I think that's where the Queen is waiting for us. I don't want to trigger anything with her yet. This is the supply train, and this is our quartermaster, Wilcer Garms. And Horgus is over here. 3 cheers for the commander. Now answer my questions. Where are the mail shirts? According to the paperwork, we're supposed to have 50. Personally deposited the money for them in the army's treasury. There's Woljif and Jernah. Okay, we're supposed to check in with the quartermaster, so let's do that. Wilcer Garms. The burly soldier with an impressive beard greets you with a broad smile. Wilcer Garms, the camp quartermaster at your service. How may I be of help? Let's hear about yourself. The quartermaster looks away sheepishly. There isn't much to tell, really. I was born in Canobris in a humble family. I got an education, taught myself to read and write, got drafted into the army, spent 3 years as a shield bearer in the first line. I left after I did my time and joined the Stonemasons Guild, then moved on to the shipwrights and rose to a crew chief. Sailed to Ayabaria twice and returned with goods. Made some money, built a house, but haven't started a family yet. I think I will after we are done with this war. But a few years ago, something started gnawing at me. I got this feeling like I needed to go home, that there was a storm headed for my native city. And when there's trouble in Mendev, there's only one thing to do. You go to the recruiter and sign up for the army. And so I did. At first, they wanted to make me an infantry sergeant, but then they decided I'd be a better fit in the supply department. I can take care of army property, and I'm pretty handy around a warehouse. Not to mention I know how to manage a band of helpers. And so that's how I became a quartermaster. Wilcer gives you a shy smile and shrugs, as if this were a wholly unremarkable story, typical of any crusader. What are your duties? A little bit of everything. What's an officer to a soldier? A strict father. So what does this make a quartermaster, like myself? Something like their mom, that's what. I make sure the lads have everything they need to defeat the enemy and come back from battle in one piece. Wilcer starts ticking off his fingers. That means food, firewood, medicine, tents, mended clothes, fixed weapons. The horses have got to be fed and watered. The camp's got to be fortified by the evening and broken up by the morning. I make sure the wages are paid on time and the wagon wheels don't squeak. And then there are reports. Gods, until you asked, I never realized how many duties I actually had. What do the soldiers think of their new commander? They mostly tell tales about your unusual power, but they don't shy away from talking about you as a person, too. Soldiers are always like that. If Iomade herself descended from heaven, you bet they'd jabber on about how she grips her sword and how good she looks in her armor. The soldiers believe the gods favor you, and that it wasn't a coincidence you gained your power in the Grey Garrison. Who else could something like that happen to, except for the gods' favorite? Alright, let's take a look at what you've got. We've got quite a bit to sell. I'm also a little disappointed. I left a lot of things laying around in the Grey Garrison. I kind of would like a chance to go back and pick that stuff up. We'll go ahead and sell some of the stuff that I know we're not going to need. I do want to find... I need to find my personal chest somewhere. I'm assuming or hoping we have access to that. Alright, we sold a few things. Yeah, we could, if we would have picked everything up in the Grey Garrison, we would have a lot to sell. Kind of wish we could get access to all that potential gold. So he's got weapons. Like anything we could possibly want, he's got. And Painful Remorse, Heavy Shield. That looks cool. Spiked Heavy Shield. When the wielder uses it for a shield bash, it behaves like a vicious weapon, dealing an extra 2d6 points of damage to the opponent and 1d6 points of damage to the wielder. That's kind of like the, forget the sword in Kingmaker that we used for quite a while that damaged us a little bit. It was a good sword though. Flowing Scales, medium armor. Gives attacks against its wearer a 10% chance to miss due to concealment. Nice. We don't have the money to be shopping for that kind of stuff right now though. Adamantine, full plate. Yeah, I mean, he's got some good stuff. Nothing we're gonna buy right now, I believe. Okay, we spoke to the quartermaster. Here's the Narrow Scion recruits encampment. Seelah and Aegis are over there. Nabris soldiers encampment up there. Eagle Watch encampment down there. Well, let's head up here to the Canabris soldiers. Got chapel in there. Okay, yeah, I thought we were supposed to do something up here. I guess just look at it. Let's see what's in this chapel. We outfitted this tent to be used as our chapel. Even the less pious crusaders will come here to say their prayers when the final battle is upon us. I've seen it happen in my previous campaigns. Got some little candle stations. Altar of Torag. Altar of Aristil. Iomade. Oh, okay. This is just saying we can rest here and remove corruption. Altar of Desna and Seren Ray. Okay. These are the... are they still Eagle Watch? No, we're down here by the Neuroscion recruits.
Our path leads on.
Okay. We've looked over this. Oh, here we go. A group of soldiers is talking loudly, laughing joyfully and passing around a flask. Seelah. So picture this. Seelah's always with a group of people enjoying themselves, seems like. So picture this. My sword is by the fire, there's 2 goblins about to snatch it, and 3 more are digging through my tent. And I'm sat in the bushes wearing just my mail shirt, wondering what the blast to do. An old mercenary taught me about the mail shirt. You can't sleep in armor, but it's not so bad in mail, once you get used to it. Too bad no one told me not to go into the bushes without my sword. So what did you do? What did I do? I barked like crazy. Goblins are afraid of dogs, you know, so they all went wild and started running around. I spot my sword and they spot me. So I jump over to the fire, wearing nothing but my mail shirt, and I grab my sword and I yell in my big tough voice. Oh, Inheritor, grant me the power to crush these filthy creatures. My sword's shining and the goblins are screaming. I jump to attack them and they fight back, but I fought them off somehow. But ever since then, I never take a step without my weapon. Seelah takes a sip from the flask. Haha, that's some story. Hey, stop. Stop gulping. Leave some for us. Irabeth, we've only just set off and you're already drinking. And with the queen in the camp, stop this at once. The knights quickly snap to attention. Seelah raises the flask and says loudly, Right you are, Commander Tirabade. We are but drinking to the queen's health. Oh, Seelah, you better show some discipline. Seelah becomes serious and puts the flask away. My apologies, Commander. That's better. You're a paladin in an army, not a mercenary or raiding party. Make sure you act like it. Alright. Seelah, when we leave, you can go back to having fun. May Canabras be damned. Anonymous pamphlet. I spit on the streets of Canabras. I spit on its granite walls and its stained glass windows. If tomorrow the ground trembles, splits apart, and devours this cursed city, I will not shed one tear. No one here, not a single soul, deserves any compassion. Everyone who lives in this city is a criminal. If there were any justice in this world, every one of them would be hanging from the gallows. Prelate Holrun and Queen Galfrey chief among them. Ask anyone on the streets what they know of mongrels. The answer will be dumb silence or the lowered eyes of a scoundrel who knows their crimes but doesn't want to think about it. Mongrels. A disgusting nickname which the residents of the city have given to the brave Crusader heroes who defeated the forces of evil but paid for it with their health. Covered with scabs and tumors, bloated and gnarled, they were no longer beautiful enough to be tolerated by the very people they'd saved. As a reward for their heroism, the city dwellers exiled them to the sewers and damp caves beneath the city. The author of these words went down there and spoke with them, and I'll have you know that the ugliest of them is more noble than all the paladins of Mendev, not to mention that head-chopping prelate and his murderous queen. And if any pretend that today's city dwellers aren't responsible for the crime of their grandfathers, then I will spit in their face, for the grandchildren of the exiled are still down there, crawling in the mud and eating garbage. And everyone who knows about this and does nothing, and everyone who should know but prefers blissful ignorance, I say, they're all guilty, and they repeat the same crime every day. And as long as this doesn't change, any citizen who desires to fight a demon should take a knife and stab themselves in the stomach, for your city has already rotted, and you are no better than the demons. And if anyone would repent and right this terrible wrong, they should turn their weapons on the prudish paladins who preach good but defend an order that flies in the face of justice. Down with the paladins, down with Prelate Holrun, down with Queen Galfrey. Alright, that person is a little bit upset. Alright, let's see what we have here. Grandma Gretlen, the director. Oh, this is the theater troupe we rescued in the market square. A well-dressed old dwarf is lecturing a motley company, shaking her ladle at them belligerently. Noticing you, she flings up her hands. Good afternoon, your commanderness. Do you remember us? We're the crew from the next door theater company, the one you saved in Canabras, back when you weren't your commanderness yet. As you can see, we've come on the campaign with you. We signed up to clean pots and mend the soldiers' clothes. Keeping up a theater is expensive, so we all have to take side jobs. But we don't stop what we're doing. We're going to put on a play about your legendary feats. Of course, the crowd scenes are difficult. We can't find the people to play the hordes of demons. And we decided against using a ritual to summon real demons. Luckily, we have Master Kem. He's invented a way to solve this problem using sound. Kem the Sound Master. We caught a pig and some piglets who ran away from a burned out village. The glum and husky half-orc mumbles softly. We put the piglets in a box and scared them a little, and the sound they make is just like an approaching demon horde. Grandma Gretlen. But the most important question is, of course, choosing the lead actor who will play the great Knight Commander. We had to write Barney over it, breaking a number of lances as well as a shovel, a rolling pin, and a set of back scratchers. But we just couldn't decide no matter what. Maybe you can help us. We have 2 candidates that are most suited to the role. One will have the honor of conveying your heroism upon the stage. Commander. We can choose between a gnome or a cyclops. I'm to be played by a gnome? Not a gnome, 2 gnomes. Rubbledum and Hierophant are twins. One of them sits on the other's shoulders and puts on a long coat so they can play tall characters. They switch places every so often, so each gets their moment of fame. And that way they each only have to learn half of the script. A Cyclops? He's completely tame, believe me. Has a few issues with articulation, but what a powerful physique. We'll make him a nice costume, wash him up, brush his hair. Truth be told, in our show you mainly just make short heroic exclamations at the fateful moment. Like, onward, or we'll never give up, or my heart burns with courage. Lambkin can definitely handle the script. Lambkin. Don't you have any other actors who even vaguely resemble me? We're a small and poorly funded theater, and we only have a few actors. But they're also talented, one of a kind. I've chosen the ones that are the best fit for your role. Trust my vision. I have more than a few successful plays under my belt. Alright, we'll choose someone. I think we'll take the gnomes. I think they might, despite their stature, they may provide a better performance. I will be played by the gnome twins. Wonderful. Sorry we took you away from all the important things heroes and commanders do. We're off to rehearsal. I mean, first we'll wash some pots, then we're off to a rehearsal. Let's go, you lazy lumps. Don't embarrass old grandma now. Okay, go wash your pans. Well, there's Daeran up there. Nura Dendewar's tent. Field medic, we didn't check in there. Is that this one right back here? Let's take a look in here. Amelia's in here. Vissaliy Rathimus. Oh, he was the one selling stuff in the tavern, I think. And Kiado. Oh, they were both in there. Oh, another book. I forgot to look. I picked up a book in Irabeth's tent as well. In Search of Joy, Confessions of a Heretic. And this was Irabeth's. Adventures of a Fearless Crusader, Briggy the Sausage Maker. Pretty sure we've seen the Sausage Maker one before. Alright, let's talk to Vissaliy. A stout old man with a fuzzy gray beard greets you with a deep bow. Well met, Commander. You've caused quite the stir. Everyone thought Canabras was done for, but the gods had other plans. That was quite a blaze over the Grey Garrison. All the vermin running out with their tails between their legs. Well, I'm pretty sure we met him. Isn't? Maybe he's not the same guy that was in the tavern. I thought he was. Who are you? Vissaliy Rathimus, former rector of the Canobras Temple of Abadar, and now your humble servant. In times like these, one cannot serve the god of cities, while sitting comfortably behind a city wall. You pursue a sacred cause, and I will help you in any way I can. I await your orders, Commander. Lead us onward to Dresden. How did you end up on the battlefield? Everyone here has a story like that, but mine is a rather boring one. Believe it or not, it was bureaucracy. When the old rector of the Canobras Temple died, may Abadar rest his soul, the church required a replacement. I volunteered and served for 30 years without incident. I prayed, organized festivals and funerals, bought candles, sanctified water, boring, mundane things that make up the daily routine of civilized society. But then civilized society failed, and it was time for me to go to war. Praise Abadar, who led me through the ruins to the defender's heart. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was in there. And the boy with you? This one, Kiado the shepherd, my apprentice. He's a smart boy and his faith is strong. He serves Aristil though, but there's still something he can learn from an old servant of Abadar. He'll be a great cleric when he gets a little older. What kind of help can I expect? First, if you need a scroll with a divine spell, I have a lot of them. Something for every emergency. Second, while you're at the camp, I can read any scrolls for you. Guaranteed, no surprises. And you'd better not leave the camp without a cleric. I won't be going with you, so you'll need someone else who can read scrolls. Alright, show me what you're selling. I would love to see some restoration scrolls. Got a stack of raised dead. We don't have much money. Cure light wounds. Remove fear. We could have used a scroll for blindness in the garrison. Probably like these resisting different types of energy would be good. We probably need to get that on somebody. Lesser restoration. Well, we've got some of those. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to buy a few more. Your serious wounds. Remove blindness. Of course, now we may not need it, but I will grab one of those. Would have helped us in one particular fight I can think of where Lon got blinded and really made it difficult. Yeah, these resist communal, acid, cold, etc. would be good. Death ward would be good. I don't have the money. Waiting to see. Here's what we want. Alright. In Kingmaker, at least, I tended to rely heavily on these scrolls for restoration in particular. It just seemed like we needed a lot of those. And we don't need the diamond dust. Cast them. Alright, well, we're spending a bunch of our money on that, but we need it. We need to fix this one negative level on Zeke, for sure. Oh, he has a lot of stuff. Looks like he must have like anything we could possibly want. Diamonds, diamond dust. Alright. Resurrection. And then he's got potions. Conman's ring. +5 to perception and trickery. Skill checks. Headband of charisma. Cloak of resistance +3. Cape of pest control. Damage reduction against swarms. That could come in handy on someone. Red salamander ring. Grant some fire spells. Oh, scroll of freedom of movement. Wow. Let's grab one. Bookworm's headband. Wow, he just has everything. Okay. Then it looks like ingredients. Glowing croissant recipe. So we could pick that up. Oh, then the kits. Yeah, we're going to need to buy more of these. So we can scribe better scrolls. And just everything. Wow. This guy has the ultimate supply. He makes like... We thought Jod sold a lot in Kingmaker. This guy has everything. Alright, let's pick those up. And let me take a look at that recipe. I should have read what it gave us. Okay, let's speak to Kiado. Teacher, I sharpened your quills. Okay. Alright, we've been to the Neurosian encampment. We've been in that tent. We went in the chapel tent. We have not gone in the commander's tent yet. Nura Dendawar's tent. Let's go see who that is. Oh, let me take care of that restoration on him. Feels so good to get rid of that negative level. Anybody else? She's got ability damage. I think it was Aegis maybe that has Alon's got some of that. Alright, he's good. Everybody's good to go then. Finally got rid of that negative level on him. He's been carrying that around for ages. Nura Dendawar. This is Nura Dendawar's tent. It seems she brought a lot of unnecessary items along with her. Nura herself does not appear to be in here. Several books. Okay, we picked up a few books, so let me take a look at those. Nature of the Divine. Without a shadow of a doubt, expecting nothing in return, the life and feats of Lord Axelar Tresbutt and Hylor and the secrets of the Needle Glens. We did not learn anything from those. They were strictly for entertainment value. Okay, we've been in there. We've got loot over there and down here. Let's grab those. We missed something back there too. We got a earth elemental down here. Wait, okay, where are we headed here? Oh.
Let us press on.
I guess those earth elementals are just keeping watch for us. I'm curious. We'll see, I guess. Does this camp like move with us on the map? Or is this a location that we leave and come back to? It must. Quartermaster talked about like setting up and tearing down camp, which made me wonder if this was not a permanent location. But maybe this stays here until we like attack Dresden. Examine the campsite of the Eagle Watch. Okay, I thought we did. They're right right there. We just didn't walk in quite the right place. Here we go. Okay. Now we've looked at everything. Oh, who do we have here? Daeran? Ah, there you are. You dashing troublemaker, you. Daeran flashes you a self-satisfied smile. Our short acquaintance is coming to an end. Very soon you will depart on your crusade, where you'll scrape by on horrible rations, struggle vainly to fall asleep amidst snoring soldiers, be rudely awoken by the freezing cold, and have to look upon the dour faces of self-righteous prigs before you finally perish in the maw of some demon. I have a journey ahead of me too. I've just rented a sailboat in the south. I've also hired an excellent chef and a host of other entertainments. Well, to each their own, I suppose. Daeran pauses, then suddenly adds in a more serious voice, You know, I am genuinely sad to see you go. If it sounds like mockery, forgive me. I cannot switch off my venom gland on a whim, you see. But you intrigue me. If only we could have spent a little more time together. But of course, Daeran grimaces, not under these conditions. Let the Crusaders and the demons have at each other. With any luck, they'll take this entire sanctimonious spectacle down with them. Let's be blunt. You don't intrigue me, not in the way you obviously had in mind, but you are a valuable companion. You could have stayed in my party. Who, me? Where, in this traveling cirque? Pardon me, in this army? Daeran offers a doubtful smile. You must be joking. Of course I won't stay. Who in his right mind would trade a luxurious and carefree life for this crusade? In any case, I intend to wait until the army departs. I do love a good send-off, especially when it is I who is staying and someone else who is heading off to meet a dreary and hopeless end. Sometimes it does one good to ruminate on the unfairness of life. Well then, farewell, Commander. I assume I shall be your most precious memory on this most disgusting and exhausting road to the pointless slaughter of battle. Or if not the most precious memory, then at least the most stirring. Daeran smirks before instantly losing all interest in you, or at least he pretends to. Okay, so I guess we potentially had, I don't know, could have sent him off for good. Maybe he's going to end up sticking around. We'll see. So, we've taken care of all these things. We just need to speak to the Queen. Okay, I came back here to Wilcer to sell some of the things we've picked up, and we've got a new dialogue here. Your supply would do any wine shop proud. Does the Crusade really need this much alcohol? Wilcer smiles shyly. Don't think I'm trying to encourage drunkenness among our Crusaders. It's all in good fun, a way to blow off some steam. When soldiers can gather by the fire and raise a cup to honor both the living and the dead, it reminds them that life goes on. But those who drink to excess, or to the detriment of their duties, won't get a drop from me. There is no sight more depressing than a drunkard. Okay, the only place we have not been into is the commander's tent, so let's head in there. There's the Queen. Is our personal chest in here? There it is. Seelah. That's somebody new. Alright, yeah, here's our chest where we put all the severed heads we picked up. Other stuff. We've got this collection of weapons that I know we're never going to need. We'll hang on to them a little bit longer. So we absolutely need the money for something. Maybe we should grab these heads, I don't know, in case they come into play. We'll throw in some of these weapons here for the moment. I'm going to have to do a look at our inventory. Other things we can sell. Okay. Oh, here's the Nura. We went in her tent, but they were gone. And Leoter Hawkblade. These going to be new companions. Seelah. It's good to meet you, Commander. Nura, happy to help the cause, Commander, and Leotur. My respects, Commander. I hope you will be able to spare me some time after all the formalities. Okay, let's talk to Queen Galfrey. The Queen greets you with a stare. She has dropped the pompous air with which she just announced the 5th Crusade. The face of the ruler of Mendev appears calm and thoughtful. She has made her move and now awaits her opponent's reply.
Commander, I'm satisfied with the troop review, but I do not expect they will be sufficient for the task. You will have to prove yourself a shrewd leader and hire the necessary troops with the provided funds. I have chosen a target for your campaign, and that target is Dresden, our lost outpost within the World Wound. The Sword of Valor was kept there, a banner that was once carried by Iomedae herself. Our greatest relic was lost when the city fell. I should make one thing clear from the start. The Sword of Valor is no mere symbol, but a powerful weapon against demons. The holiness of the banner weakens them and robs them of one of their most dangerous abilities, teleportation. A forced march to Dresden awaits you. The Sword of Valor is kept somewhere within the Citadel. The demons probably think it's a hunting trophy. Its recovery is just as important as retaking the city itself. I hope the task is clear. I'm sending 2 specialists to help you, along with the soldiers. A historian, Nura Denduar, and a cleric, Soziel Vainik.
Ah. Okay, the Queen nods to the human man and the young halfling woman standing next to her.
One of the famous inquisitors of the Church of Iomedae also wants to talk to you. The Honorable Leotur, whom everyone calls Hawkblade.
I do not wish to keep you, Commander. The matter I must discuss with you is extremely important, but it is not directly related to the Crusade. You no doubt wish to meet your new comrades and speak with Her Majesty. Therefore, I shall leave you now, but I ask that you seek me out in the camp at your earliest convenience.
Okay, will do. Hawkblade.
Listen, it's amazing here. It's like I'm in a ballad. There's knights in shining armor, deadly dangers, glorious feats. We are going to show those demons. I'm so tired of sitting in a library reading books about history. It's time I took part in it.
Okay, you've got lots of energy.
I'm glad to help our cause, Commander. If you have some time later, I'd like to speak with you further.
We would. I think we're in need of a cleric. You might be able to fill that bill.
You'll have plenty of time to talk. You're the Knight Commander's people now, his trusted advisors and companions. Now then, will you please leave us?
All right, everybody's taking
Irabeth,
off. Looks like
you can go too.
Irabeth is gone too. Okay. When we met at the Defender's Heart, I never imagined you'd make me the commander of the new crusade.
Some actions may be deemed bold or even extreme, and beyond those, there are some you might call the Queen's last resort. I am not a simple monarch. I am at war with the Abyss, a war which has lasted over 100 years. I cannot allow myself the luxury of caution. In you, I see a chance, and I am willing to stake everything on it. However, you cannot blame me for putting you in charge of the Crusade. I only formalized what had already happened in the hearts and minds of many. People spoke of the power that descended upon you and helped you save the Wardstones from corruption and total destruction. Word of this feat quickly spread far beyond the borders of Mendev. There was no other person who could better fit the role of Knight Commander of the 5th Crusade.
I have some questions about my mission to retake Dresden.
Of course, I shall answer.
How did the demons manage to conquer Dresden?
That's a good question. Its walls were built by dwarf craftsmen, and the power of the Sword of Valor protected the city. Alas, where raging hordes failed, a single lying tongue was all they needed to succeed. The demoness Minago convinced a young and ambitious crusader named Staunton Vane that the banner belonged on the battlefield. He went on a daring and unapproved raid, and the banner ended up in the enemy's hands. The city fell soon after. Ever since then, for 7 decades, it has served as a citadel for the forces of the Abyss.
Ah, yes, Staunton. We saw him in the Grey Garrison. He defected to the demon's side.
Oh, really? I wasn't informed of this. After Dresden fell because of Staunton, he was nearly sentenced to death. He deserved it. In wartime, men are hanged for far less. But you have no idea what a terrible sight it is. A raging crowd of crusaders baying for blood. Never have my fighters looked so much like the demons we are fighting. I commuted Staunton's sentence and stripped him of his rank. Not just for him, but for my army and my country. We are not Hell Knights. We do not maintain discipline with public executions.
Yeah, it was a tough choice. I understand.
Thank you for your support. The longer you live, the more things you do, and the more criticism you endure. Today, many blame me for all manner of reasons, and few try to understand my actions. Your words warm my soul.
So what forces are at my disposal?
Everyone we saw today at the parade. First among them, the Eagle Watch, who remain a powerful force thanks to Irabeth's resourcefulness. Also marching with you are several minor knightly orders, as the minor volunteer units like to be called. And finally, I have personally selected some recruits from Neurosian. They have little in the way of battle experience, but great determination and a thirst to prove themselves. I've always thought that an army benefits from at least one such unit.
Thirsty recruits. That's what we need.
These forces, as I said, are not enough for a march on Dresden. You will have to hire additional troops with the funds that have been provided to you. But for a brave commander, and I hope you are one, that is just the beginning. If you retake Dresden, recover the holy power of the Sword of Valor, and gain a foothold in the region, then new armies will join under your banner. The Fifth Crusade is only beginning. Many battles and victories lie ahead.
It's been decades, and no one has managed to retake the city. Why do you think we're different?
We have a chance now that we haven't seen in decades. But it's more than that. You created this chance for us by foiling the demons' plans in Canabris. The army who attacked the city came straight from Dresden. Demon hordes from the Abyss are usually encamped there, but many of them perished on the streets of Canabris. We must attack swiftly before they can restore their forces. When the city is free and the Sword of Valor appears before our soldiers, they won't be sending in any more reinforcements. Demons cannot teleport into an area protected by the banner of the goddess.
What about long-term goals? Do you know how to get rid of the world wound forever?
Now you are talking like a real knight commander. However, answering your question is not easy. To win this war, we must bar the demons' way. There are a few planar rifts leading to the Abyss across the territory we call the World Wound. The best specialists we could find have tried to close them on separate occasions, with no success, as you may have guessed. The World Wound is more than just a chain of portals to the Abyss. We do not understand its nature yet. The methods of rift closure known to magical science simply do not work here. However, we have a hypothesis, and a rather well-grounded one, that we must begin at the source of the problem, the place where the World Wound was opened. The main rift lies through the city of Iz and the Threshold Fortress, deep in the former lands of Socorus. We have never managed to fight our way so far and gain a foothold to allow the mages to explore the origins of the World Wound. So, the next step, after you succeed in Dresden, is an offensive push deeper into the World Wound, with the aim of reaching Threshold, the very threshold of the Abyss.
Is that all? I have no more questions. Did you know that the souls of angels from heaven are confined in the Wardstone?
I had guessed as much. Many angels fought alongside us in the First Crusade. Heaven was unable to mobilize its full might to aid us, but individual celestials volunteered to fight for our cause. Then one day, they all vanished, saying that they were setting off on an important mission. Not long after, Iomede's herald erected the first wardstone in Canobris, and then the others in cities across Mendev. Even back then, I had nagging doubts, but my faith in Iomede easily assuaged them. It is for us to serve the goddess after all, not to question her works. Nevertheless, I am pleased that you solved the mystery of the Wardstone in Kinobris and were able to save this gift of Iomedae. It was a deed worthy of a Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade.
I have to admit, I'm still not entirely, it's not entirely clear to me on exactly what we did with the Wardstone. But we're glad that it worked out. You should know, I received an unusual gift in the caves beneath Kinobris. In a vision, I saw the death of an angel called Lariel. Somehow, he was able to grant me the ability to reveal the light of heaven.
Lariel. I knew him. He disappeared shortly before the world wound grew, and Dresden fell into the enemy's hands. In the chaos, we had more important concerns than investigating the fate of a single angel. Even one so righteous and beloved as Lariel. And afterward, matters took a turn for the worse. The angels left us to go on this special mission. It is so strange to hear the names I used to hear when I was young, like getting a message from the past. It is sad news, but it brings me back to the times when we strongly believed in our victory, and we rushed headlong toward it without fear. Could it be that such times have come again?
Show the covenant of the inheritor. Do you remember this?
This. I thought this relic was destroyed many years ago. How strange it is to see it whole again. At one time, it gave me hope. I am pleased that this object will serve the Crusade once more.
That was a weird little, like, loading screen there. Thought something else was happening, but it just, like, I don't know. I had a vision of Iomedae giving her covenant to you.
I was young, and did not fully understand the magnitude of the duty that had been entrusted to me. Iomedae gave me hope and strength to see me through the trials ahead, and in so doing, she won my everlasting loyalty.
Do you still remember the oath you swore in battle?
Always. No matter how arduous, no matter how dark the skies, no matter how much blood flows from my wounds, I shall stand with you. We shall fight for our loved ones and our friends, for the right to live and die free. We shall do everything we possibly can, and after that, we shall begin to do the impossible. And if the hour should come when our arms can no longer raise our swords, our bodies will become a shield to cover those who still have strength to fight. I, Galfrey, Queen of Mendev, swear this to you. This is my vow.
You withstood a blow from Erilu Vorlesh in that battle.
I would proudly declare that to be true, and say that even Erilu Vorlesh could not kill me on her first attempt. But to do so would be boasting. I was protected by my goddess. However, I was glad to see that, no matter how great the betrayer of humanity's power, it is nothing as compared to Iomedae's might.
Hand over the covenant of the inheritor. Was this one of the storyteller things? I can't remember what this is doing for us, if anything. I'd like a chance to go look at my inventory. I wonder if we, like, I don't know, do we want to give this to her? I don't even know. This might be a time for Google, I guess. Well, okay, I asked Google and kind of had to leave Google because it seemed like some pretty heavy spoilers related to her story. If I were to kind of dig into this anymore, other than it sounds like if we want to potentially romance her, we need to give it to her. I mean, at this point, I could actually maybe see these two together, but it sounds like this relic could actually give us a pretty nice bonus. So I don't know. Maybe we'll have another chance to give it to her if we do want to get on her good side. For now, I guess we'd like to keep wearing this relic.
Then so you shall. What matters is that the covenant of the inheritor has been recovered. Perhaps it should be in your hands now, because you have greater need of it. But should you ever feel that you no longer need this relic,
okay,
I ask that you give it to me. I would be delighted to touch it again.
Okay, so we have another chance to give that to her if we decide we would like to. And what are you going to do?
Overlooking a spot of insubordination just at the moment. However, I shall answer you. I shall prepare the defenses at Nerosian and all the other border cities and plan the future of the Fifth Crusade. Does that satisfy your curiosity, Knight Commander?
So yeah, we are locked out of the Aeon Mythic Path because of our previous choices with the Wardstone, I believe. My queen, I'd ask you to remain with us. The Dresden campaign is the hope of the Crusade, and the blessing of Iomade that you carry may be decisive in this battle.
What is this I hear? A polite attempt to appeal to the conscience of an old sovereign? I don't know if you realize what you're suggesting. If our enemies in the depths of the wound were to discover that I was with your army, they would immediately send their most vicious demons to attack. They would stop at nothing to be rid of me, and thereby sow chaos across Mendev.
You have a point.
But you are right. I shouldn't be sitting it out in the rear. I am a warrior queen, and a queen of warriors. Yet my fighters have forgotten what I look like. Fine. I shall join the Crusade, but on my own terms. First, I shall assemble my entourage and lead the parade out of the camp. I shall catch up with you later, along with a few hand-picked bodyguards. We'll change our armor, and I'll become a knight of a minor order and join the troops incognito.
Cool. Wow. Is she a potential companion? Like, party member? Interesting.
Until we approach Dresden, no one should know I am among you. But before we storm the city, I shall show myself to the troops and join the battle. Let it be a surprise for the demons. I hope you won't complain of my company on the road, Commander, since you were the one who insisted upon it. Do you have any other questions?
I suppose it probably wouldn't work to have her as a party member. If she would die in battle, and you didn't, you chose not to resurrect her, that could have story implications. We'll find out, I guess. Okay, I guess the task is clear, then.
Splendid. Ah, yes. We have one final matter to attend to. It should be rather enjoyable.
The queen gives you an impish wink. What do you have in mind?
Count, there you are. You received my instruction?
Daeran's here.
I did, though I did not have time to read the thing before I was dragged before your majesty. In truth, I was readying myself to depart.
No matter. I trust you will forgive your sovereign for the rather brusque summons, especially when you learn what prompted it. As you are aware, he has recently been appointed my Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade. I spent a long while pondering whom to appoint to the highly sensitive post of Commander's Field Attaché and Advisor Plenipotentiary without portfolio. Congratulations, Count.
Uh-oh, Daeran. Looks like you might have to stick around.
It is a great honor, I suppose.
A rather frivolous gesture for a queen.
The adequacy of any measure can only be assessed against the reason that prompted it. Isn't that so, Count? I had my doubts about whether you were ready for such a responsibility, Count, but your conduct in Kenobris has put my mind at ease. So, you will travel with the troops to Dresden. Only the commander may remove you from your post. But I trust that you will dutifully fulfill his orders and make a good showing of yourself. Especially since word of your appointment, Count, will reach the court at any moment. All of Mendev's nobility will be following your successes in service to the nation, including all of your devoted admirers. I even heard that one bard with whom you are particularly friendly has already begun composing a ballad to honor your heroic participation in the Crusade and your faithful service to the commander here.
Your largesse truly knows no bounds, dear cousin. I am most gratified by the honor you have shown me.
Well, if anything, I think we'll just take a little joy knowing that he has to stick around here and can't go running off to his sailboat.
Then let's get going. May Ayomade help us.
Even if we don't choose to have him as a regular member of our party, which if we have an alternative, I think I'm leaning towards that. We met that Social. We'll have to talk to them and see. It sounded like they might make a decent cleric for us. All right, Anivia's here. Whoa, that was a lot. We got our marching orders, though. We're ready. Let's see, what was that last? Farewell. Okay, talk to Social. Talk to Inquisitor Leotor. All right, we've got plenty to do now. Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you again here with me next time. Bye-bye.